Cyborg, welcome on in. Congratulations on being officially the fastest thing alive, redeeming first in the chat for this stream. Prime B, welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. And Tids as well. I hope you're feeling better today. I know you've had a bit of a rough time of it lately, but I hope you are feeling better now. You'll have to forgive me. I have already technically started painting because, well, I'll explain in a moment. But,
Hello there.
there we go. I think I've resolved it. So,
Hero Quest is the best game ever
hello,
made.
Buff.
Anyone who
Welcome
says
in.
otherwise
And
is
Cypher as well. I hope
wrong.
you're
Oh,
both doing
no,
well
morons.
today. Painting screen. So, you may notice Flower Knight has had some work done. Those of you that are in the Discord may have seen that I figured out a neat little way of, let's bring that down a bit so you can see the colours a bit better, of dealing with the teeny tiny butterfly that needed affixing to his finger. You can see it there. Because that was a separate piece for anyone that wasn't here for that. That tiny little piece there, completely separate from anything else. I had to cut it off with a sprue and then figure out how the sweet fuck to stick it to the miniature without losing it. Which unfortunately did happen, but we'll get into that in a minute. Noticed some changes from working out, which is nice, but I'm drained and the internet is wobbly, so oof. Swings and roundabouts then, ain't it? But grats on the changes from working out. That's awesome. It's very awesome. Okay, so those of you that saw him on the Discord after I'd attached his hand and his butterfly may notice that the butterfly isn't where I attached it originally. There are good reasons for that. Well, I say good. It was a very distressing experience for everyone involved, which was me and the dog. But first off, what I did to attach that tiny, tiny little butterfly, instead of using super glue, because I know that can kind of clump up and be really noticeable, I have a resin pen. So, over a year ago now, holy shit, that doesn't bear thinking about. Over a year ago now, I came to Scotland for the first time to visit my friends Longfang and DMAC, who I think most of you already know. And whilst I was in Scotland, and we were doing touristy things for my benefit, Longfang very sneakily bought me a little present to commemorate my trip over the wall. It's this lovely little bee. It's a brooch. And I wore it for my job interview for the job that I've got now, and have worn it whenever I've had an opportunity to, frankly. But you may notice that there's a little bit of the amber, it's not amber, the resin at the bottom here, that is not the same colour as the rest of it, and that there is a little crack in it. This is because when I was moving house, as much as I tried my best to protect it, it got quite badly damaged. So I got a resin pen so that I could fill in the missing piece of resin and fix the two cracked pieces that I had left back together onto the brooch. And I think it's got a bit of a kintsugi look to it now. It's more unique for its break. I'm still sad that it got broken, but I still have a beautiful brooch out of it. I still have all the memories that are attached with it. And it's got its own little quirk now. So it matches its owner very well. But that resin pen, turns out, it's unique, exactly. That little resin pen has a lot of resin in it. So what I did was I went, let's see if this works, and I put a tiny little bit of the resin. There's the pen. On the finger of the knight, and then I very carefully held the butterfly in place, and I put the UV light that's in the end of the pen on, and just waited for like maybe a minute, and then the butterfly was stuck. And then I didn't touch it for a bit so that the resin could finish curing in its own time. That was Thursday last week. Then, oh, it must have been on Sunday. No, Monday? More recently. Hello, Kian. Sure, sure. Something happened and the wall in my office shook. We don't know what caused it. It may have been the dog like bombing about in the hallway or something, but the wall in my office shook. And the little notebook that I keep all of my squig requests, which I will get round to eventually, when I can find my squigs, because they're still in a box somewhere, which is on a file holder on the wall behind my paint station, toppled forwards, took out my handy dandy squig friend paintbrush holder and all the paintbrushes it was holding, and a bunch of other stuff on the top of my paint station, and all of that barreled forwards into the flower knight, and the flower knight ended up face down on the desk. I took a quick look and went, oh, good, nothing's broken. Didn't notice that the butterfly had come off. Didn't notice that the butterfly had come off for a good few hours. And then went, oh shit, where's the butterfly? That tiny little bastard had got itself lodged in the carpet. Eventually I found it, after a lot of groping around on the floor with a torch. Attempted to stick it back on. Didn't go very well. It ended up in the carpet again. Obviously, whilst I was doing this, I had to send the dog out of the room, which is why it was a distressing experience for him too, because he likes to be basically up my arse at any given opportunity. But the butterfly is back after taking 2 trips into the carpet. 3 trips into the carpet? 3 trips into the carpet. And is now very securely affixed to the edge of the knight's finger instead of the tip of the knight's finger, because that gives it a little bit more adherence. Death by Rube Goldberg machine, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Cypher. I knew exactly what you meant. Hello, Senno. Welcome on, and I hope you're doing well today. It got deflowered. Well, it got debutterflied. Or the butterfly got deflowered? Deflower knighted? Yeah, I know what you mean, though. But yeah. So, in between streams, I have painted and applied these vines. So, in true Blue Peter fashion, here is something I painted earlier. What else have I done? Oh, I added these little flowers growing up through the broken shield, because I thought that was kind of nice. Like, nature is just really persisting hard over that shield. Obviously, I've added his hand and painted that gauntlet as well, and the vine attached to it. A lot of little things. Here's one hobby made earlier. Yes, beautiful. I don't know if that was very loud or not. It wasn't for me. Hopefully it wasn't too loud for you folks. Yeah, I think I've now fixed all of the bits of paint that got damaged during the fall. Didn't hear it. Oh no. How odd. Oh, for those that were here yesterday, the monitor is sort of fixed. Where did I do the Blue Peter one then? Oh, I think Blue Peter was done in Triggerfire right before I started moving everything over to StreamerBot. So I don't have access to it, like ready access to it, unfortunately. On the plus side, it doesn't cost any channel points, so nothing of value was lost. Yeah. So I think that's the full update on what's changed since you last saw him. Oh yeah, there's a cute little Murray there as well, look. We have a Murray! Murray's out in chat for those that have him. Oh, it looks like he took a bit of a beating, actually. Very cool, Cyborg. Just gonna quickly touch that up. There we go. Much better. Okay. So, that means we've only got some very small bits left to do, and one very important. Not literally big, but very big in terms of the construction of the model. So, we have am I missing one of those? No, it's just stuck in the box. There we go. We have this little vine. I've not figured out where it goes. I think I need tweezers for this one, because otherwise you will not be able to see it past my thumbs. Here we go. Ooh. These little tassels. Like, even with the tweezers, you can't really see them because they're so small. Not as small as the butterfly, but not far off. Got a bit of fluff on my tweezers. See if I can hold this one from the top. There we go. Please excuse all the snow on my hand. My desk is still a mess from doing the base. I just haven't fixed it. I really should. So we've got those three really small fiddly bits. And we've got the sword. And that's it. We're nearly there. No, Cypher. It is not. It is very definitely fake snow used for basing miniatures and other small objects. It is not for sticking up your nose. So, I'll be honest. The sword is the thing I'm most nervous about. I'm gonna bring the camera down a little bit. The sword is the thing I'm the most nervous about, because if I fuck that up, it's going to be noticeable. Hello, Pudlord, welcome in, and thank you for the posture check. Hobby can't afford the party powder. I cannot afford the party powder, you are correct. I spent all of my money on plastic crack, so now I can't afford real crack. It's a really nice sword. It is, it's a beautiful sword. There's a lot of lovely details to it. But yeah, I am very nervous about painting it. Several of the connection points seem obnoxiously small. You are not wrong, Seno. You are not wrong. Some of the connection points are non-existent. You just have to figure it out. Like, I still don't know where those two little tassels are supposed to go. Like, did they go on the front? Do they go on his knees? They've clearly got to go somewhere that there is two of. Do they go on his butt cheeks? Knee tassels, yeah. Is it knee tassels? It could be shoulder tassels. It could be nipple tassels. I have no fucking clue at this point. One for the top, one for the bottom, eh, Cypher? Oh, that's really cool, Cyborg. Can you imagine Hobbs on coke? No one would survive them. Yeah, this is me without the assistance of drugs. Well, except for the ones that have been clinically dispensed to me for the purposes of making sure that my immune system doesn't murder me. I have 5 magic stars on nipple tassels. Oh, that is tempting. That reminds me, I haven't taken my pills yet today. Med check, everybody. If you have not taken your medication, please remember to do so at the appropriate time. Some of us take meds in the evening, some of us take meds in the morning, and those times are different for many of us. Be that medication that, like for me, stops me from becoming too powerful, or medication that just keeps your brain a little better balanced. It's all good. Make sure you take your meds. My meds aren't for another hour and a bit. Yeah, I figured as much. I vaguely remembered that you medicate in the
Have you taken your
evenings.
meds today?
Thank
Get
you,
it
Cyborg.
fucking done.
Yeah, I vaguely remembered that from many streams ago. Which is why I said what I said. Because there's always one that goes, oh, I don't need to take mine yet. See? I pay attention sometimes. Sometimes. Hobby's meds are like Piccolo's weighted cloak. Yes, they are, actually. They stop my immune system from being overpowered. I think they're just stopping me from reaching my full potential. But also, they stop my knees from hurting, so I'll keep taking them. Yeah, that's what I do, Cypher. I medicate in the morning before work normally, or when I forget, during work, when somebody reminds me. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave the sword till last. Knees are terrible, like, why are they so shit? I don't know, Pudlord. Like, what the fuck is wrong with them? Why can't they just do the thing that they're designed to do without complaining about it? So I think what I'll do first is try and figure out where the spiky vine goes. And then we'll think about the tassels. Hello, Mike. Welcome in. Can we please get a shout out for Mike Moans? Mike is a fellow hobby painter. Hobby painter? No, that's not right. Mike is a fellow hobbyist. And I was lurking and working in his stream earlier today. Okay. We're gonna use the tweezers for this because this is tiny. Plastic crack addict. I'm open about my problems. Yeah, yeah. We were just talking about that. Funnily enough. People have been making jokes about the fact that my desk is covered in snow. Joke's on them. I can't afford actual crack. Spent it all on this stuff. The myth of moving fast on your heels has caused so much damage to people. Huh? Where most people walk at the minute puts too much force into the ankles and then knees. Ah, yeah, I am a slow perambulator. I wonder if it goes here. I'd be okay with it going there. I think that'd look quite nice. I don't know. Or we could just like stick it in here and have it like a rogue tendril. I mean, he's got some stuff on his wrist here, and he doesn't have that on his sword hand. Yeah, I think we'll go for either this or this. There's definitely nowhere else it could go, right? Maybe there. Hmm. Method moving fast. Yeah. All right, Cypher. Well done.
You filthy animals.
See, most of my issues are from not taking care of myself while playing rugby as a youth. Yeah, I get that. I probably should have taken better care of myself when I was. Oh, that fits really well there. I think we'll put it here. I think we'll put it here. It's quite snug there. So, we need to paint it. And this is going to be awkward. How do we do this? How do we do this? I think we take our good Sir Knight off of the painting handle. Oh, sticky. Oh no, he's got a sticky bottom. We'll clean you up later. Where are we at? Not built to move at any real level of speed. Yeah, I walk very slowly. I like to take my time and enjoy the world around me. Some people would call that inefficient. I tell them to go fuck themselves. If you wanted me to be efficient, you should have arranged something for a later time in the day. um, okay, have I caught up? I think I've mostly caught up. My addiction is comics and books and reading, which helps with writing. Yes, I can appreciate that. I have quite the book collection and quite the comic collection as well. I still have the comics, like the first sort of batch of comics that I bought with my own money. I bought with babysitting money, would you believe? Okay, my green paint has dried up completely. So we're gonna get the green out, give it a little shake. We're using Please Don't Sue Us green from Army Painter. And I'm going to move my tweezers because I just elbowed them and it hurt. They are bitey. May seem crazy, but I'm going to use the regiment brush for this tiny little vine just to get the base coat on. Knee, mind, and gut pills taken. Glad to hear it, Senna. Good on you. And welcome back from your medication break. We all good? Yeah, we're all good. Oh yeah, I painted my nails for the stream for the first time in absolutely ages. And they almost immediately got ruined, and I had to try and fix them, which is why they look such a mess. Oh, Mike, because I know you're new to the channel, we do have a jukebox that you can put tracks that you like into. It only works on Spotify, unfortunately, but for a single bar token, you can put whatever you like in. We do ask that you try to avoid anything shitposty. But other than that, any genre, all is welcome. Doesn't matter if it's in English or not. We are multilingual, multi-genre appreciators over here. And it's nice to share things with each other. I think a couple of folks have put stuff in the jukebox, so you've got some examples of what that kind of looks like as well. I think we need a bit more light now, because we've not got that lovely pale cream colour. Otherwise, you won't be able to see what I'm actually doing on this tiny little vine. Baby vine. Thinking of turning my vampire thing into a comic, need to get better at art first. Well, Kian, I have a couple of responses to that. First off, a lot of comics aren't done by just one person. They have a writer or multiple writers and then an artist or multiple artists. So if you felt like your art wasn't right for what you wanted to put into your comic, you could collaborate with an artist. Also, I've known plenty of comics that have had actual terrible art. I've seen your art, it's actually very good. Actual terrible art, and have done very, very well for themselves. Not necessarily, Kian. It depends on the artist and how well you know them, for one thing, and how you go about things. You may find that some artists are actually quite amenable to the idea of doing the initial work for free if they're really invested in the project, and they're going to get a cut of the sales or the like, you know? But it's an option. But yeah, if certain comic artists and AI art have taught us anything, it's that the bar is actually a lot lower than we tend to put it for ourselves, for everybody else. So, give it a go. If you want to turn it into a comic, you fucking do it, friend. Heck, if it doesn't work out quite the way you want it to the first time, maybe later on, you can revisit it. Okay, did somebody put this in? Yes, somebody definitely put this in. We have a Kingdom Hearts fan in chat. Sorry, I immediately recognized this. I am a recovering Kingdom Hearts fan. So confusing. A lot of comics are finding success as webcomics now. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot more ways to get into the comics industry now as well. I collect Joshua Middleton comic covers. Oh, cool. Is it Liefeld or Leafield? I've never really known. It's a name I've seen written down, and that's it. He's actually a really nice guy, and I'll give him credit that his work has improved in the last 10 years or so. Yeah, fair. Liefeld. Cool. Thank you, Senna. There's another evergreen ship due through the Suez Canal on April 1st. There's still time to bribe the captain to pull the world's funniest follow-up fuck up. Doubt it'd even be that expensive to bribe him at this point. And on April 1st as well. I am still in the mud, I put it into the jukebox. Well, the first step is admitting you have a problem, Pudlord. In all seriousness, though, the soundtracks for the Kingdom Hearts games are absolutely amazing. There's some really good game design in there. It's just that the plot is so fucking convoluted. I don't want to have to play a mobile game and read 6 Wikipedia articles to be able to understand the basics. It's too much. I'm too old for that shit. But power to anyone that understands what's going on in that game series. And power to them if they enjoy it still. Couldn't get into Kingdom Hearts. I have a low opinion of Disney. That's fair. A lot of folks do. I enjoy some Disney stuff whilst acknowledging the fact that they are a terrible, horrible, evil company. Because that's frankly what I have to do with a lot of stuff. Otherwise, I'd never watch anything or do anything. Because the world is on fire. I do know a fair bit about sort of early Disney stuff as well. It's one of my mastermind specialist topics, I suppose. A very specific era in Disney's history. Okay, so I'm not doing anything particularly fancy with the vines. And because I haven't done this one yet, you folks get to see what I was up to with the others. I've basically used the same green combinations that I used on the bustle to just add some light and shade to the vine. And then a little bit of yellow, like a mustardy yellow, just on a couple of bits to give it that little something extra. Oops, too much. Difficult to do with such a small piece, but could be worse, I suppose. I could do with like a I think they just call it a headset, don't they? A jeweler's headset with the lamp and the magnifying glass and stuff to do this, because I can't see what I'm fucking doing. Not because of the camera out, just because it's small and my eyesight's bad. And my eyesight is getting worse. I took my glasses off the other day, I couldn't see out. I've never been that bad before. Is this what it's like getting old? Suddenly rapidly aging. There we go. See, it's not a lot, but it gives it a bit more depth, you know? And it's more than some people would do, and that's fine. As I've said a number of times on these streams, this is how I paint. It may not be the best way, it may not be the most optimal way, but it's what works for me. And when you're painting your own miniatures or doing your own art, or turning something that you've written into a comic, do it the way that works best for you. I've decided to put a little bit extra yellow on this bit just because of how small it is. Just to give it something. Because it just feels so like I'm going to lose all of the detail that I've put in otherwise. Yeah, traditional creative team for comics from the 60s onwards: writer, editor, letterer, penciler, colorists, and inker. Nowadays, the artist might fill in most of those roles, but some books keep this composition. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that tiny little piece is ready to go. I think I'm going to use the resin pen for this again. Purely because I'm going to put that over there so it's out of the way, because I need a bit of movement space. Purely because of how small this is. And because it's going into a small area. Jesus. So I'm going to very carefully lift it out of the sticky stuff. Pop it there for now. Gonna pick the knight back up. Not by his head, because that would be silly. Pop him back on there for a minute. Oh no, his arm's coming off! Oh dear. That's okay, we can fix that. He's actually got a bit of paint in there. So I thought I'd sorted this. His arm came off during the tumble as well, but I guess not. We'll just clean that out a little bit, make sure there's no glue or anything stuck in there. He's a resin miniature, so we can't use plastic glue on him because it won't work. But I now have some more Gorilla Glue. Letters are a vital job. They really are. I mean, every job in the creation of a comic book is vital, if you ask me, but... Okay. This is my favourite super glue. It's... a little temperamental. But I think it's a lot better than anything that Games Workshop's put out. It's cheaper than Army Painter. And it has a brush and a nozzle. We're just gonna dab a little bit in there. And hope it's enough. Trying very hard not to just leave clumps everywhere. Oh. And we do have to hold it in place. I can get it back where it was. There we go. Contact points on this miniature are terrible. I love it, but they're terrible. Okay. See, that's already adhered. This is why I like Gorilla Glue. It's good, solid super glue. Just to make sure you don't get anything in the glue, because it'd be too late to try pinning it. I mean, I could, but I'm not sure how well it'd go. We'll give it a go. We'll see how he copes. And if push comes to shove, yeah, we'll pin. So, what I'm going to do with the little foresty tentacle we've got over here is I'm gonna take my resin pen. It's gotten a little overexcited at the fact it's being used. Oh. And I've done the thing with the magnetic base on my painting handle again. Calm down. You'll get used in a second. There we go. So we're just going to dollop a little bit of resin in there. I'm going to take the torch off of the end because it is detachable. And then I'm actually going to stick it to the boom arm on purpose this time, because that means it'll be sideways. There we go. You can't really see what's going on there. I know, I'm sorry. But this is the best way to keep the resin from moving while I'm doing what I'm doing. Which way around do we want it? That way around. Once I've got it in place, I just shine the UV light onto him. Just where the resin is. And I can already take the tweezers away, that's how quick this stuff works. And very carefully Attach him from the boom. Gonna keep the light on him for a little bit longer just so that the resin cures nicely. Glowy glow. It's very pretty, isn't it? This would actually, if I could find any of my painted squigs, this would set the UV reactive paint, on my squigs off, because every single one of my squigs has at least one UV reactive element to them. Shin Squigzilla being the biggest use of that technology, because his red bits, like his lavary red bits on his back, are all coated with a layer of blue UV reactive paint, so that I can make him look like he's charging his laser, as it were. Please rise for the national anthem. Certainly feels that way, doesn't it? Okay, and there it is. Uno Tentacle applied, and no sign of any gloop. I really like the resin pen. I'm gonna have to listen to that again. It's a really fun little musical. For anyone that doesn't know, that was a small clip from a Shoggoth on the Roof by the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society, who do H.P. Lovecraft reimaginings of various popular musicals. Shoggoth on the Roof is my favourite. Okay, so we've got the two little tassels. Where do you think we should put the tassels, everyone? If you dare say his nipples, we're gonna have problems. And not just because I don't want to put them on his chest. On his hat, like pigtails. Oh, are you cyborg? Very cool. On his pectorals. I see what you did there. You snuck around what I was saying don't say by using different words. Well done. That's a technical win. Do we have a reference image? This is our reference image. Not massively helpful. I do have the actual piece of art, the full piece of art, on my wall, but it's right at the top, so it's not even like I should. I'd be able to, like, easily bring it down. Let's tell you what we'll do. We'll ask the Google. Give me a second, folks. I've still got access to chat, but I can't see anything else. He's a lovely detailed model. I wonder where other people have put the... Oh, that's pretty. There's nothing like looking at somebody else's fully painted miniature to make you feel like you've done a terrible job of yours. I mean, I love him, I'm proud of him, but holy shit, there are some really nicely painted Flower Knights. And all different colours as well. Nobody seems to have stuck to the original artwork, which I'm A-okay with. Ah! There we go. Can I show you folks this with any level of ease? I know where they go now. Image. Okay. Browse. No, that's November. Ah, there he is. Oh, that's just taking up the whole damn screen. They go at the ends of his armour. It's a lovely piece of art as well. Hang on. Just gonna take up the entire screen for a second. You don't need to see me, it's fine. See? Isn't it gorgeous? This is why I collect Kingdom Death. Because not only are the miniatures really pretty, even if they are a pain in the arse to build, but the art that the minis are based on is fucking glorious. Also, they're very good at representing slightly meatier ladies in their pin-up collection, which is nice. I'd like to see more women at the larger end of the scale in their general line as well. Yes, they all have good solid hips and big bottoms, Tids. But yeah, I'd like to see some larger girls and more guys in their pin-up range. They do male pin-ups as well, which is nice. Okay, I have no idea what colour to paint these. I think we'll paint them with the yellows, which is going to be difficult because all of my yellows have dried up. And I don't know how the sweet fuck I'm going to do this on stream either, because they're so small. We'll relocate the knight again. It'll be alright. So the undersides will get a base coat, just so that if any of it shows through, it won't. Is it possible to have a non-thirsty stream? No, Cypher. This is why we have this command. You folks find a way to thirst no matter what, so, you know, occasionally I'll lean into it. Yeah. So, as much as I have my issues with Kingdom Death these days, I am quite pleased that there is a little bit more diversity in their pin-up miniatures than in other ranges' pin-up miniatures. Also, a lot of their stuff is scary, and I like scary stuff, so, you know, it works. Okay. How did I do this before? We've got a little bit of game colour. This is Vallejo. Elfic Flesh to do our palest yellow with, and we're going to be using a lot of an old Citadel golden yellow for the rest. Hello, Rocket. Welcome on in. I hope you're doing well today. Some great tunes in the jukebox tonight, folks. Now, they're only small, so we don't need a lot of paint. I've done a little bit more paint than I probably will need, purely because that way if I... Oh, sorry, punched the microphone. Very professional. Wouldn't think I've been doing this 3 years, would you? Yeah, if I do end up cocking up my colour combinations, at least I've got a little bit extra to work with, and if the paint dries up, I've got a little extra to work with. But thankfully, I haven't cleaned the wet palette yet, so it's fairly easy to colour match. Okay. So I've just pressed them into the putty so that they don't move about while I'm doing this. I'm not going to paint the little bits at the top with the yellows, they're gonna get like a brassy color, like other bits of the armor have. Some of the few bits of this miniature painted with metallic metals instead of my weird ass techniques. This putty doesn't mind having paint stuck to it. Um, like, hottest of hot takes, but more body diversity is pretty good actually, not just in media, but yeah. Still backhand mine constantly. Ah, you've been streaming for about as long as me, haven't you? Maybe slightly longer? Think we started up at around about the same time. Time is difficult. Third anniversary is the 8th of April. Okay then. I guess we know what we're doing on the 8th of April then, don't we, folks? Well, assuming that Tidders is doing a anniversary stream on the day. Oh, I know Friday is normally a community night where you folks get to ruin my ability to play a game. Day after is, I see. Um, but I'm thinking about altering the plan a little bit because on Friday, um, Resident Evil 4 Remake comes out. And Resident Evil 4, as some of you already know, is my favorite Resident Evil. So I am very excited. I haven't even played the demo. Like, I installed the demo and have not had time to play it. So I'm kind of tempted to, like... Yeah, I've watched other people play the demo, but I've not played it myself. I'm kind of tempted to just play that on Friday and just take a little bit of a trip down memory lane. Because it's not just my favourite because it's a really good game, but it's also the first Resident Evil game I ever played properly. First Resident Evil game I ever owned. Um, and yeah, I kind of want to do it. One bit in particular made me very happy. In the demo or in the game in its original format? Okay, I think we're okay. It has the angriest village in Spain. It does. They are very angry. Ah, see, every time I've watched someone play it, I've had to go for a meeting before they've ended the demo, so I've been watching it but not being able to hear it, so I don't know what he says when the demo ends. So I suppose that'll be a surprise for me. I'm sure you'll be in chat going, he said the thing! I spotted a little bit that hadn't caught the paint properly, so I've just gone back in with the insane detail. It's not the psycho. So anyone that was about to hit the psycho button, nuh-uh, not today. Which is impressive considering how small these things are. You'd expect I'd have broken the comfort brush out already. I mean, fair, Cyborg. My opinions of Leon have been very drastically tarnished by people playing as him in Dead by Daylight. Because every Leon player I've come up in a match with has acted like a fucking Labrador puppy that needs to pee. Running around in circles, making all the noise in the world. Just being a general nuisance. Ah, peak Leon then. Yeah, basically. Leon is basically the human version of a Labrador puppy. He's like, do you folks remember when I played, oh god, what was it called? I want to say it was called Inspector Paws or something like that, where we were the detective and we were a cat. And we got assigned a dog to keep us company. Inspector Puddles? Waffles! Inspector Waffles, that was it. Inspector Waffles. Yeah, Leon is Spotty, the police dog. But in human form. Leon is what Shinji Mikami thinks a secret agent is like, which apparently means a himbo. Yep. Yep. I'm down with that. That is exactly what Leon is. He's a blessed little himbo. I enjoyed Inspector Waffles. It was a fun little point and click. Do you get the feeling this could be George Stobart and Nicole? The song? Hmm. No, because Nicole was doing fine by herself and then she met George and he ruined everything. It's like the opposite way around. The song or the totally not nipple tassels? I wasn't thinking about the totally not nipple tassels. I mean, to be fair, even when she was dating George, she was doing fine for herself. I do feel like, and I don't say things like this very often because I think it's a horrible thing to say, and doesn't take into consideration other important elements, shall we say. But I do think George is punching way above his weight with Nicole. Okay. We need to get some pale up in here. Okay. No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna use the psycho for this. Try not to. Try not to get too deviant while I'm. Oh, what the hell? I know you will. Yeah, they will. It's alright, I got you. Hope it works. It did last time I checked. Evidently not. Or there's a massive delay. The counter still works. Yay. Oh, I bet I know what the problem is. Stream Elements logged me out again today. And I thought I'd logged everything back in, but I guess not. Useless bloody thing. It's always a shame when things don't work properly. Too much there. At least the jukebox works, right? Yes, the jukebox still works. That's the important thing, I guess.
Get nice and moist for me, won't you?
Hi, Mum. Thank you for the hydrate. I'll deal with it in a moment. Thank you. I hope you're doing well today, Mum. Have you been at work? We'll use a little bit of the yellow that I mixed up for... Hello, Russ. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well today. Yeah, we'll use a little bit of the dark yellow that I mixed up for...
Hello there.
The leaves and stuff, just to add a little bit more depth, I think.
Hello there.
Hello, Halo. Welcome in. Wow, everybody's turning up. Doing Friday, though. Oh, okay then. Welcome back, Tids. I haven't heard this song in 30 years. I don't know who put it in the jukebox, but somebody put it in the jukebox. And that is not a judgment. We love a bit of erasure here. The band, not the act. And some Depeche Mode as well. Lovely. Had to check then and make sure it wasn't a cover. Twas I. Ah, well, there you go then. Okay, there we go. I feel like I need to make the overlap darker though. So get a bit more of this dark yellow. I got it on the side of my palette. No. That's too much on the brush. Still too much on the brush. Still too much on the brush. Where's it all coming from? There we go. There we go. Oops. I've got this paint quite thin, as you may be able to tell. There we go. That's better. Oh, a bit of new order, fucking hell. Got some really good stuff going in the jukebox. Have I missed anything? Torpor, thank you for the treat for Porthos. I will give that to him in a moment. And Halo, I will answer your question momentarily. There we go. We are working, Halo, on the last few details for the Flower Knight, who has lost his butterfly yet again. Okay. I'm going to try and superglue it and hope that it stays. And hope that I don't get superglue everywhere. Thank you, Halo. That's very kind of you. It's been a long process working on this boy. And I've been very nervous about doing it. You're not going to see me gluing the butterfly in place because I need this as close to me as possible. So I can see what I'm doing. Because it is just that damn small. Trying to get the glue on his finger without getting it on the wrong side of his finger. Ooh, sorry, that's a tweezer into the microphone. Oh, fuck, it's come off. Come on. Stay for me. That's all I ask. Okay. Just gently blow on it in the hopes it doesn't fly away. Okay, I think we're alright. I think we're alright. The butterfly is back on his finger. Oof. Okay, so resin pen, good, but not great. Resin pen, little bit of glue, could work well. In fact, that may be the trick to it. Like, resin pen a thing in place and then glue around the resin. I don't know. Or very tiny bit of glue and then resin around the glue. Okay, I think they're about as done as they're going to get on that side. I'm just going to use my tweezers to attempt to carefully lift them up onto their ends. So I can get to the underside for a quick base coat. We'll go back to, where is it? The regiment brush for this. Not the very top there, though. Because that is where we're going to stick it to the mini. I mean, the mini already has paint where these need to go anyway, but the less layers between things, the better. I've over-thinned my yellow. There we go. Doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be there. Just in case any of this is visible on the final mini. Seriously, great tunes in the jukebox tonight. Good on you, folks. We'll leave those for a minute, I think. Actually, we need to get him back into position so we can attach them. So, very carefully take those off of the handle. Put one of them right way up, so now my desk has got yellow paint on it. Fabulous. Oh, it just does not want to go the other way. Okay, fine, whatever. Okay. So I think if we put them here, that'll work. Just over there. Super glue. I think what I'll do is I'll put the glue on the tassels rather than on the figure. Come on. Stuck to the tweezers. There we go. We might have to do some little touch-ups, but that's okay. Once it's fixed in place, it won't be so bad. I'm glad that I've basically done all the assembly sort of last. I'm not going to bother with the tweezers this time. I feel like that's just going to lead to more hassle. Just going to have to be very careful. I don't glue this to my finger because of how tiny it is. Like that. Shit. Come on, off you come. Thank you. Shouldn't have done that. There we go. So yeah, the dark yellow is a little too dark, I think. It looks a bit incongruous next to the rest of the creams. But that's an easy enough fix. I've also used the wrong metallic. Which one did I use for everything else? Is it black gold? Might have been black gold. I don't think it was, though. Ah, no, that's the one I just used. Let's see if it was elf gold. Hey, there's nothing wrong with wearing a cowl if that's what you want to do and you're not causing any distress to anybody. Cyborg? Yeah, it definitely wasn't elf gold. Um, Looks like my plan for Red Nose Day wouldn't have worked. Is this you trying to get the jukebox to play the song you actually want? Perchance, Cypher. When is Red Nose Day? I've not kept track of that for a very long time. Oh no, it is affixed. Good, good, good. Okay. Let's see if we can fix that dark yellow. Make it a little less want the insane detail for this. I honestly didn't know it still existed. It was the other week when you didn't stream. Oh! Hello, Bort. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Oh, actually, no, we want to make this darker. That's better. It may not look better yet, but we've got some fixing to do before we can all these tassels done. I feel like death. It's okay, I'm actually getting over it. Yeah, Wheezy had said that you were doing better, but that you were still rough. I'm sorry to hear that it's affecting you as badly as it is. Hopefully, you won't have any lasting side effects and you'll be over it soon. There we go. It's not quite so offensively bright now. Because it shouldn't be. Oh. Ceaselessly, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on in. I hope you're having a fantastic day. There we go. He's got his tassels. It's going to bug me that that's the wrong metallic, though. I am going to have to figure out which metallic I used and repaint them. The only things left to paint are the sword and the butterfly. Now, I have a plan for the butterfly. Those of you that have been here before probably know what it is. It will require the use of the psycho. Yeah, I'm quite happy with how he looks. No one suspects the butterfly. Yeah, I'm happy with him. I'm happy with him. Dice Shop is tempting me, oh no. I'm sure that it is a cunning plan. No, actually no Pep to Squigmole in my plan. Potentially, painting it up as a different variety of Lepidoptera to the variety it's supposed to be. Thank you, Kian. I don't know why, but
bird.
the actual... yes, Mothman.
The large owl, or a bird mutated by the hazardous waste
okay, so
in the
Mothman
TNT area.
works. Everyone loves moths. I love moths. I think they're wonderful. It is really going to bug me that the Psycho command has stopped working properly. Because that's twice that it's been redeemed now, and we've had nothing. Oh, that's why. Why did I do that? Silly me. Oh, I remember now. Because somebody kept using the crimes command on streams it wasn't intended for, I actually disabled the psycho command and then forgot that I'd done it. So yeah, if somebody would like to redeem Psycho, and I will take the punishment of having used it twice more than I actually have, so that you can get your actual proper redemption.
That's a lovely colouring. The tasteful thickness of it.
There we go. And all is right with the world. I suppose I should use the Psycho now, shouldn't I? Okay, so things we need to do. We need to paint the sword. We need to paint the butterfly. I need to find the correct metallic paint and repaint the tops of the tassels. That can wait until after the stream. I think we start on the sword now. And his hand, because his hand is attached to the sword. Okay. So, I don't know whether to paint the sword with metallic paint, or if I should try and do like a non-metallic metals with the greens that I've got. I don't know if I'd be able to do non-metallic metal with the greens that I've got. I didn't disable the crime counter. That's on me. Damn it. Could do verdigris. Yeah, I could. Because that's kind of what I was aiming for with the rest of his armor as well. Is like a verdigris kind of look. That's a paddling. Yeah, it is. In all fairness, you are always committing crimes. Yeah, my entire existence in some folks' eyes is a crime, so yeah, that works. Okay, we'll start with his gauntlet and the little leaves and stuff on his wrist, and we'll work from there. So I'm going to use the insane detail for this, not the psycho, the one up from that. And we'll start with the gauntlet itself. Oh, too much paint. I actually need to water that down a little bit. It's been sat a little too long. I was really hoping to be able to make a reference to my Narita Boy speedrun in the title of today's stream, but the mods haven't reviewed it yet. I know I've got to wait, and I know it's like a maximum 3-week wait, but I want them to approve it so badly. It's a silly little thing, it really is, but how cool would that be? For however brief of a period of time it may end up being, I'd be able to call myself a world record speedrunner, and that's kind of cool. But I'm not gonna like harass them or anything like that. I'm not gonna send them any messages. I'm gonna wait 3 weeks and just talk incessantly about it. Like a grown up. Oh, I had a little bit of claggy paint on the brush there. That's a shame. I do not use illegal substances to base my miniatures, Cypher. Sure, it kinda looks like I do, but I can assure you, that stuff is not safe for human consumption. And as much as you may argue that the other thing is not safe for human consumption either, technically, you can consume it without dying. Just has some very funky effects on your brain. Well, at least it's not asbestos snow, indeed. Is that still a thing in the States? I believe my mother put this in. As she's very excited about the weekend. See, personally, I'd call it the Phoebe theme tune because she's the only one out of the lot of them that seems to be a decent friend. Oh, I've not heard them make shit up in a while. There we go. He's got really long fingers. I mean, I suppose you kind of expect that from a character like this, but really long fingers. They're a pain in the ass to paint. Every time I think I've got to the end of them, I realise there's more. Someone saw the cartoon in Discord. I really like. I said it in the Discord, but the version of that comic where they've put an Oingo Boingo t-shirt on the guy going towards the jukebox feels like a personal attack. It really does. Like, at the height of my Oingo Boingo obsession, I would play tracks of theirs for my friends at any given opportunity. I'm a little better about it now. I only play them when they're appropriate now. But, there we go. So we got a base coat on, which is what we want. No worries, Cypher. You take care. Thank you so much for being here today. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope the parenting goes well. I'm sure it will. Okay. So I have a question for you all. If you don't mind, of course. What should I paint when I finish this guy? Because we're very close to the end now. It'll be done soon. Then I've got to think about what to do next. I've got more Kingdom Death stuff. I've got a lot more Kingdom Death stuff. And I've got some other stuff from Kingdom Death on the way as well. One of the pinups? Yeah, I could do. Do we want me to do one of the femme pinups or one of the mask pinups, though? I mean, there is a really cool one that I've got. She's a larger scale pinup than... Oh, hello, Wheezy. I didn't see you pop in there. Hope you're doing well. I want black paint for this. There it is. So we're using some whole black from Army Painter. You are sneaky, Wheezy. Hey, Zatheo, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. And indescribably bad at Valheim. You and me both, my friend. I just picked the actual night up instead of the thing I'm actually painting. That's how well I'm doing today. So we'll just stipple a little bit of the whole black onto some of the areas where we've put some green, just to give it that mottled effect like we've done on the rest of the armour. Not too much, hopefully. Do not lick the knife, oh no. I'm doing very well, thank you, Zatheo. Had a bit of an interesting day at work, and we had an engineer round to install smart meters earlier. So I was without power and internet for a little while that was happening. But it's fine. We have smart meters now, which is good because it means I can keep a better eye on what around our house is actually using all the energy we're paying for. And not having access to the internet for 1 hour is a small price to pay for being able to figure that out, I think. Also meaning I'd never have to go outside to take meter readings ever again, which is nice. Because I am lazy, and sometimes it's cold outside. Okay, so we've got all of our darks down. Now we just need to add our highlight. And I need to tidy my brush up. There we go. I think my highlight colour might be a little bit dry. No, we've still got some play in it. So the highlights on this need to go... Oop. Oh, you need a bit more light, don't you? Wrong way. There we go. The highlights need to go sort of on the edges here. And this is going to be really difficult, so I'm going to have to switch back to the Psycho purely because otherwise I'm going to get paint everywhere where I don't want it. So I'm going to fix the mess I've made. And then we'll swap to the Psycho. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I learned how to do something new at work today, which was nice. And we're getting to a point now where I can actually start working on all of the little things that have been piling up whilst we've been in audit mode, which is nice too. Because I've got a lot of work with my name against it. And I want that to stop. So we want the Psycho for this. And I'm gonna put some water into my highlight colour first as well. Hopefully this works. I am way too shaky for this. Oh boy. There we go. We'll have a little bit of a dry brush up here where the knuckles are bent. A little bit there too, I think, actually. So the trick with these kind of paint techniques is to make sure that your brightest colour, your highlight colour, which is usually white, the wiggles give it character, this is true, are directly next to your darkest colour, which is usually black. Or a very, very dark grey, if you're doing metallics. Because this is actually the non-metallic metals technique that I am bastardizing for my own purposes. But I think it looks quite nice like this. I think it gives a nice effect. Easier to see on the bigger bits of armour, like on his chest and stuff like that, but no less effective here. So you should be able to see it on some of the bits of his armour. I've put the brightest highlight colour right next to the dark colour. It just makes it pop a little bit more. Doesn't necessarily work as well with the way I paint as it does with the way other people paint, because I like to go for really subtle sort of blends of colour, and a lot of other mini painters prefer much more stark contrasts between their colours. Obviously very, very nicely blended still, but the gap between those two colours on a colour wheel, for example, is much smaller. On mine than it would be on somebody else's. I think the legs look the nicest out of the lot. Let's see if this does... Yeah, no, it's not that one. I still need to find the metallic colour that I used. I think I might go for a true metallic metals on the sword, actually. Because we've got a couple of little elements that are metallic, and they look quite nice. So if I try for a true metallic metal on the sword itself, I think that'll look pretty neat. It's going to be difficult with all those vines on it, though. I'm going to paint the wrap on the pommel. I think it's the pommel. Yellow to match all of his fabrics. And I know that's what I want to do, so I'm going to do that bit first. Not with the Psycho, though. We'll go with the insane detail for this. Oops. Too much paint, and it's a bit wet. Yeah, it's a lot wet. Okay, oh no. I dropped my paintbrush. Don't know if you saw that, folks. Oopsie. There we go. Put a little bit more of this in. A little bit more of that. That's better. This is a song I've not heard in a very long time. There we go. Shrek is still a banger film. Shrek is a very good film. I don't have many nice things to say about the sequels, I'll be honest, but Shrek itself, as a film, is well put together. It's still funny because I can't think of any comedy in it that punches downwards. This is why I added Cannibal Corpse to the queue. Fair enough. Um, it does make fun of short men, though. It does, yes, which isn't fair. Height isn't that important. Except for when you're trying to reach something off the top shelf. But yeah, it doesn't... It's aged fairly well. In terms of its comedy, I think. It has been a while since I watched it last, but... It subverts some tropes really, really well. And for me, the most important thing, it is absolutely groundbreaking in terms of animation at the time. I see what you did there, Sano. What the heck is that? That's not a finger. There is a bump on the sword under his hand. which I think may actually be sprue or flash or something, which I'm now going to have to try and paint the correct colour, because I thought it was part of his gauntlet. And I've just realised that he's got an extra finger if I do that. Oh no. Am I AI art? I didn't expect you to feel any guilt, Zeno. To be fair, I am about as good at drawing hands as current AIs are. I think I'm slightly better at teeth, though. Oh, quick! Install glaze on the stream! Yep. I must be stopped before I learn how to paint fingers properly. Also uses the soundtrack really well to emphasize when a scene is bombastic, larger than life memes, and it's actually sincere and vulnerable. Yeah, exactly. It's a very well put together film. And that's kind of undeniable whether you like the film or not. Okay, I'm happy with that. That looks alright. There you go. I'm happy with that. We've got a dog hair on the wrist. We'll just remove that. Thanks, Porthos. Oh, I owe Porthos a treat, don't I, Torpor? Thank you. Just remembered. Oh, he is out cold. Can I? He is out cold and avoiding the camera at all costs. So I'm afraid all you get of him is his butt. But I'll put that treat to one side for when he wakes up. Okay. So I'm thinking the rest of the garden, the pommel should be relatable. I'm glad you feel that way. Thinking the rest of the garden, the pommel should be the same sort of colour as his armour. That makes sense. Keep everything nice and consistent. I'm gonna have to be careful about making sure that it doesn't blend into his gauntlet though. And then the blade itself, I'm still undecided. Actually, where do those vines come from? No, we're gonna do the guard the same colour as his cuff. Because that vine comes directly from the sword itself. It is part of the sword. I think we'll go character brush for this. The character brush is sort of a mid between the regiment brush and the insane detail brush. I'm not going to paint the vines coming away from the guard yet, because I want to leave those till last, I think. Otherwise I risk getting metallics over them if I paint the sword metallic. Which I think I will. I'm really... Ooh, that's a rose on the end there. We could have... we could paint the roses a nice red colour to match the ones on the base. That could be nice. I think we'll do that. just a little splash of a different colour. And that could be quite nice. Means I've got to get my one whole red out. I think I've actually got two, but one of them's an ink. So it's going to give everything a shiny look, which might be quite nice. Like, we could say that they're rose jewels. This guy strikes me as the kind of guy that would have something that fancy on his sword. I think I have 3 reds. I have a lot of blues. I only have 2 greens. Which is surprising, because I do really like green as a colour. And most of the stuff I paint that's Warhammer is like squigs and goblins. So you'd think I'd have more green and red than anything else, but I really don't. A lot of purple too. Oh, my fingers are locking. What time have we got? Oh, okay, it's nearly 8 o'clock. What do you think, folks? Should I just push through and finish this tonight? Should we end this now? Finish him! Say cram it very close. Yeah, I'm thinking that. And Slow's feeding himself tonight, so it's not like I have to worry about making sure that I stop at a certain time like I did yesterday.
Goodbye.
No worries at all, Tids. Thank you so much for being here today. It's been lovely to have you. I think you're streaming tonight, so I hope the stream goes well. I'm really bad at time these days. Like, days are hard, you know? Especially when I do a bloody off-schedule stream. Actually, on that note, let's give Tidders an old shout-out, shall we? Okay. We're getting there. We're very close. Get the green on the cuffs. Well, cuff, seeing as I already did the other one. Don't get any on the knobbly bit, because that's where we stick it to the rest of the mini. Okay. God, this is so difficult, because it's such a small piece. I'm trying so hard to make sure that I keep it on the camera for you, and that I can see what I'm doing, and it's just so difficult. I hope you can at least see some of what I'm doing. Most of the time. Hello, Gibraltar, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. One out, one in, it seems. So, for the cuff, I'm going to use a little dry brush of lighter green. If it'll work. There we go. We'll get a little bit of that going on over here too. Okay. Welcome back, Buff. Too much. Little dry brush of yellow on there. We'll go back in with the green in a minute to catch that in because it's a bit too much. Put a nice bit of yellow there, bit there. Oh, I have missed a whole chunk of the sword there. That's not good. There we go. I've not bothered to clean my brush between the light green and the yellow because I think having like a bit of both in some places looks really nice. So they sort of merge together in a very pleasing way. And I've said this before, but these are leaves, so you don't want them to be too consistent. Like, you want them to be the same colour roughly, I'd guess, but nothing about nature is even and consistent and perfect. So why should we paint our miniatures that way when they've got so many natural elements? Hello, RNG, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Oh, you bugger. Okay, I'm going to stop for a second and just stretch my fingers because I've been holding things so small, so tightly for so long. I've got a bit of the claw going on. Good old painter's claw. Happens to the best of us. I'm just gonna wiggle my fingers. Got a pizza in the oven. What kind of pizza? Please tell me everything. And now, my one red. Which is another army painter paint. It is pure red. Oh, and it's very excited. It's dribbled all over itself. I must have shaken it a little too hard.
You filthy animals.
Ham and cheese, because I'm a basic bitch. And there is nothing wrong with that. Basic can be nice, and also ham and cheese is glorious, so... and the ink I'm going to use on top of it is ruby red. This one has a ball bearing in it, and you can tell because you can hear it on my microphone. Listen to that. That is some paint shaking ASMR right there. We love that. Love a happy paint. Okay, nope, not the knight. Going back to the sword. Can see how desperate I am to finish it because I keep picking the knight up instead of the sword. Oh, let's clean that. Yes, indeed. I have not watched the live-action Scooby-Doo films in ages, and that feels terribly remiss of me. I love those films. They knew exactly what they were and what they were doing, and as a lifelong Scooby-Doo fan, it was kind of wonderful. I mean, they're not great, but they were never meant to be. They were just meant to be fun. Sometimes a thing can just be fun. Not every movie has to be high art. The best modern Scooby series was Mystery Inc. I wholeheartedly agree, Cyborg. Mystery Inc. was great for a number of reasons. First off, it put to bed how everyone feels about Scrappy-Doo. Secondly, it acknowledged the second greatest Scooby-Doo series ever, Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts. Third, it had a really good overarching plot that was actually written into a Monster of the Week series. And it's the first Scooby-Doo series to ever do something like that, and it did it really well. Fourth, it made Mark Hamill into a clown. Again. No, seriously though, it is a really good series. The character development in it is really good, and you get the immortal line from Fred Jones. I read it for the articles talking about Traps Illustrated because he really likes traps. As in, you know, setting and laying traps for unsuspecting villains. But yes, I absolutely adore that series. I've rewatched it multiple times. Not recently, unfortunately. I should fix that. Okay, I think that's that done. I return to one of the songs I put in the jukebox. Welcome back, Cypher. Gay Velma. See, she was never explicitly stated to be gay, in the series. I know they wanted to make her gay, but the execs wouldn't let them. But I do like the idea that she, you know, she kind of found herself a little bit. And I like the fact that her and Shaggy broke up and it was rough for a little while, as it will always be in those kind of situations, but they still remained friends, and they I think they actually grew closer from being a couple and then breaking up than they were before as well, which is nice. Did you see the Velma series on HBO? I have deliberately avoided watching it because I have seen enough of it from the trailers and have heard enough about it from a couple of streamers that I trust the opinions of to know that I will absolutely hate it. And I don't go in for hate watching because hate watching allows a TV series to continue far beyond when it should. It is not good, yes. That is what I'd heard, though I'd heard it in much more verbose terms. From what I understand, it does not treat its audience with any degree of respect either. Like, the people the show is aimed at, it shits on. The people the show is not aimed at, it shits on. It just shits on everybody. Which is a bad start. Also, it's not funny. It's supposed to be funny. Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. I'm sure there's people out there that would enjoy it, but I'll stick to the Scooby-Doo shows I actually like and would like to see more of, frankly. Yeah, I think painting those red was a good idea. Look at that. It's just a nice little splash of colour in there with all that green and blue. I was hoping it would at least be self-aware, but honestly, it's just bad. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Pretty typical for Mindy Kaling, really. Yeah, I've heard that as well. There's a lot of issues with the creative team behind it. Her specifically. Okay, I've got to decide what to do about the blade now. I can't keep putting it off. And I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to do non-metallic metals or metallic metals. It's killing me. Because I can't finish it until this is done. You know what? I'm going to pop the sword down for a minute. I'm going to paint the butterfly, and then we'll come back to the sword. Lead belcher and null oil and call it done. No, I can't do that. For one thing, I don't have any lead belcher. For another, I've put so much into this miniature at this point. To do that on the last piece would feel like a disservice to it, you know? So we're going to go back in with the Psycho for this, because I'm going to need the Psycho for this tiny-ass butterfly! Look at that! Look how small it is! And we're going to go for a very basic kind of Mothra look. Mothra looks a little bit, in terms of pattern and coloration, like a monarch. But Mothra is a moth. And based on her cocoon, small, yes, very small. Based on her cocoon, I think she may be some variety, and the larva from her, from when she has kiddies. Oh no, it is stuck. I think she may be some variety of silk moth. She's not actually based on a specific moth or a specific butterfly, though. They just really liked that particular pattern, I guess. They went for something kind of mothy. Yeah, that butterfly is not stuck. Okay, so I've just ruined the base coat I put on. We've got a little bit of super glue on there already. I don't know whether to put more glue on or just try for the resin pen and hope that the glue holds the rest of it. There we go. Baby does not know ABCs. Oh, too much. Still too much. I have to be very quick, because the resin just escapes by itself. Doing that, I'm not actually lighting it up. That's already a little bit better. Look how the butterfly glows. Did you manage to see Lupin Zero? No, I didn't. It's on the to-do list, Rocket. I've got so much shit on the to-do list. I'm not very good at keeping up with things these days. And it takes me forever to watch even short things. Like, I'm halfway through watching something called Horror Noir on Shudder. She's a really fantastic collection of sort of short films with predominantly black casts. And I believe people of color in the writing room as well. But they're all short horrors, and they're really good so far. But I'm only halfway through. There's 6 of them. I've managed to watch 3 of them. I am so behind. And I've got to be in the right mood for stuff as well, you know? Okay, so our little butterfly here, we're going to need some red, some yellow. So we'll use some more of that pure red and some more of the golden yellow Citadel paint. Squeeze a bit more of the golden yellow out because that's the yellows and the creams tend to dry up really quickly, even on the wet palette. I guess it's something to do with the way the pigment works. And then blues and greens tend to last a little bit longer, I've noticed, and reds last the longest. It's a bit like hair dye, actually, now I think about it. Where's my red? Oh, I put it away. Ah. Oh. Squig friend has fallen over. There we go. I actually only put a tiny little drop of red on the palette because most of it just came straight out of the side of the nozzle. Okay. So I've got some red on my palette, I've got some yellow on my palette. I'm going to make a nice orange colour. You know what? I think we'll actually make this look like a monarch rather than going, excuse me, full Mothra. Which means I need a reference image. Did you see Del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities? Yes, I did. I actually binged that. I was able to sit down one weekend and just watch the whole thing, which is probably not a healthy thing to do, but I really, really enjoyed it. I'm a big fan of Del Toro's work in general. So having a series that has been curated by him is just wicked for me. I'm a big fan of anything that involves creature work, frankly, and Del Toro is one of the best creature designers and writers out there at the moment. His Pinocchio was so good. And the amount of work that went into making that the way it was as well was really, really fascinating. If you've not seen Del Toro's Pinocchio, watch it. So, so good. And follow it up with a documentary about the making of it. It's a Lupin and Cat's Eye crossover. Oh, okay. Okay, so maybe Monarch is going to be a little difficult to do, but we can try. Because this is very small. It's also not the right shape to be a Monarch, but... Oh, bugger. Frankenstein! Hello! Welcome on in, and thank you so, so much for being subscribed for 10 months now. Heck! I hope you're doing well today.
FRNKNSTN has been a sub for 10 months. Very
TTS
naughty.
just didn't even bother trying to say your name there. Okay, we're going to go all orange, and then I'm going to figure out how to do the little black streaks after. Because there's not a lot of butterfly to work with here. I'm leaving a little bit of black by the finger, not just because I don't want to get any paint on the finger that shouldn't be there, but also because this is a butterfly, it has a body. We need to make sure that the body is visible because of how the butterfly is sat. Oh, I'm butchering this. No, this isn't going to work. That's okay though. There are other things we can do to make the butterfly look like a butterfly. First things first, make it black again. Need to go for a more simple design, I think. Because it's so small, even with my finest detail brush, I've got too many bristles, not enough space. Okay. Let's go. Still going to use the orange I mixed up. There we go. That works better. Sometimes you've just got to alter your approach. See, doesn't that look better already? We'll try and put like a little white speck in there as well. Still going for kind of monarchy colours, but less of the design, because the design is difficult to do on something this scale. Oh boy. Especially when you've already glued it to the miniature. Oh my god. Okay. It's not the most well-defined thing either, so it's really difficult to just make sure that you're hitting the right things, as it were. If that makes sense. Because really, it's just a butterfly-shaped blob. I'm gonna try and make the body like a brown colour instead of being actually black. Hey Hans, welcome in. How you doing, buddy? I'm actually going to use the same sort of, it's actually just more of a ruddy colour. I'm going to use it there. Oh, I'm shaking again. Having the shakes really doesn't help with trying to paint something this small. Okay. Let's give our little friend some eye spots. To ward off predators. Make that one orange. There we go. I think that looks okay. Not perfect, but certainly not bad. This is not the version I was aiming for. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. There we go. I'm quite happy with that as a butterfly, a very tiny butterfly. See if I can put it in focus for you folks. There you go. And again, we've got a nice little splash of colour that's different from the knight himself there, which is what we want. We want something a little bit different. Because not everything in this world is the same colour, you know? And that leaves me with one thing left to do. And I've decided what I'm going to do about it. So I'm going to put us into BRB for a little bit while I... Oh. That was weird. There we go. While I go and get some paints from my paint shelf. So I'll be right back. Please enjoy the clips and the music while I'm gone. Hey, look! Horsey. Wait. Is that Big Narita? I think that might be Big Narita. Is it in the background? Oh my god, that's amazing! I'm calm. Totally calm. Well, a street urchin. You what?
Very good, Nick. Cost you 1 shilling.
Yes, we did. We see. Were you there when the big pink mushroom hit? Jesus. It's just been that kind of day. Hey, don't worry about it. All to yourself.
My challenge is to do 15 totems, and I did 0 for that last game, so
Sorry.
not good enough.
Tell you when I find any, instead of doing them myself, and then you can have the points.
It's
Hey,
a
Sadie.
Sadie match.
No. Wicked. Oh, there are other doors for me to stab. There's a phrase I never thought I'd say. Gonna go stab a door. There we go. So, no. 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 They're gonna make another one. And I'm back. Hello, everyone. So I've picked up one of my metallics. I should have probably picked up more than one. And I've never used this one before, so it needs opening. This is not a version of this I've actually heard before. It didn't have the J.J. Abrams stuff in it last time I heard it. Because I don't remember it having the J.J. Abrams stuff in. That's better. So I'm using something called Peridot Alchemy. It is by a company called Scale Color, who have some very questionable opinions about people like me, and therefore I don't advertise for them, as it were. But I already own the paints, and I'm not throwing them out just because they were made by a bad company. Because I can't afford to do things like that. Okay, that's much better. That's much more in keeping with the rest of the miniature now. Okay. We'll go character for this, I think. Character brush. Oh, Burger King for dinner, and you know, I kind of regret it. Oh no, Hans, I'm sorry to hear that. So the plan is, if it works, Peridot Alchemy is a base, which is this nice sort of faintly green metallic colour. I've actually left the highlight colour I was going to use on the shelf, which was silly of me. So I'll have to go and quickly grab that in a sec. But yeah, I'm going for a true metallic metals, but again, using colours that aren't normally supposed to be put together. Because it's fun to be difficult. Okay, I'm going to go insane detail instead of character, because I need a little bit more leeway than I've currently got. There must be so much stuff in the jukebox, because it's taken ages to get to this track. Yeah, 44 requests tonight, heck. Nice one, everyone. You have kept the jukebox very well stocked. Are you fucking shitting me, Hans? Wow, that is even worse. Someone's put a bit of boingo in for me. Thank you. Oh, he's got like a little tassel on his cuff. Shit, I hadn't seen that before. Let's try and get the metal in. And then we'll paint that tassel. Is anyone else doing hobby stuff while streaming? I am painting some god tier. Oh, cool! I'm really pleased to hear that you're painting along. That's awesome. Like, not literally painting along, obviously. You're doing your own thing, but I originally enjoy your time in the Lurkers Lounge, Rust. I originally started this as like a way that people could have some approximation of going to your friendly local game store to paint for the evening during the pandemic when we were all in quarantine. And I found I was painting more miniatures because I was streaming than I ever do when I before I did. Like, I think I completed exactly 2 miniatures in my 10 years of two of my own miniatures. No, maybe more than that. But I'd not completed that many miniatures in the 10 years that I'd been hobbying before I started streaming. And in the 3 years that I've been streaming, I have painted, I think, double the amount of miniatures that I'd painted off stream. Just on stream. It's been really, really good for my creativity to just hang out with you all. You give me ideas, you encourage me, and sometimes you just hang out and paint your own things while I'm painting my own things, and it's nice. And I appreciate that. So thank you, everyone. And this is why I wanted to paint the metals in first, because it's easier to cover up metals, in my experience, than it is to get the metals looking nice again if you get paint on them afterwards. Drawing another NPC for Londinium. Cool. The first one you drew that you put on the Discord looked really, really cool. It's kind of presumptuous of me to assume that was the first one, but the one that you put on the Discord was cool. Found that tournament deadlines have been a way to force me to finish models. We'll be trying to paint more when the weather becomes warmer. My painting studio is not so cold. That's fair. I don't do well with deadlines. Like, if I'm told I have to get something done, unless it's at work and then, I kind of need to get it done or I lose my job. But if I'm told I absolutely have to do something, I'm less likely to do it. That's why it took me so long to watch Code Geass, because somebody kept telling me that I must watch it, I had to watch it, and they kept asking me if I'd watched it yet. And every time they asked me if I'd watched it yet, it went one peg further down on my list of things to watch. First one this year, I'm quite happy with Tammy. Yeah, Tammy was cool. Tammy's the one that you posted on my Discord, right? I'm bad at remembering things. I remember they had really cool socks. This is the point when you tell me they weren't wearing socks. The one in red, white, and blue, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go and get the other colour I was supposed to bring with me and forgot. Not gonna bother BRBing this time, because I know where it is. I actually brought two. Look at me, not keeping to what I said. Oh, we're so close to the end, folks. I'm so anxious about this. Like, he looks really nice. I'm really happy with him. I'm just... It's almost over. This miniature that I've had for almost as long as I've been painting is almost painted. I don't know how to feel about that. Okay. So... we're now going to put some... this is citrine alchemy. And normally you'd use the alchemy colours as, like... How do I describe this? They'd be like your highlight colour or your spot colour or whatever. But I'm just using 3 different alchemies to make a more colourful metallic metal. I don't know if it'll work. It's also difficult to tell where I'm supposed to put colours because the sword has got stuff on it. I mean, that sounds quite nice, Hans. I'm a bit finicky about black pudding, like I really have to be in the mood for it. But doesn't mean it's not nice, you know? But I think with a bit of honey it could be quite nice. Because that'd take the sharpness away from it a little bit, soften it somewhat. So I'm aiming for kind of like a true metallic metals here. Like I said before, it's a little difficult to do because I've got so much stuff in the way. But the trick with true metallic metals is basically the same as the trick with non-metallic metals. You have your darkest colour right next to your brightest colour to really make it pop. My brightest colour is called White Alchemy. It's actually white, but it's also kind of pearlescent. There we go. And I'm going to go back to the Psycho for this. And I'm going to run this along the centre of the blade. And the tip of the blade. Oh dear, that's messy. It's okay, we can fix that later. The thing that made me nervous about doing either variety of metallic metals when I first started is that for the first couple of steps, it looks like shit. And you could be forgiven for thinking you've absolutely ruined your miniature. But it's just that you've got to build things up slowly. You put a highlight in, you put a low light in, you bring stuff to midtones, you know, and as you build things up, it starts to look nicer and more believable. But in the short term, it looks awful. And that can be very, very scary when you're more of a novice painter. Novice isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. When you're just starting out using these techniques. Okay, either this was my mum that put this in, or someone has very similar taste to her. Could be either. Oh, I'm checking. Checking a lot. Only partially because I'm nervous. Really don't want to mess this up at the last hurdle. Sorry, it's not very easy to see what I'm doing because I need as much light as possible to make sure I'm putting stuff in the right place, but that doesn't come across very nicely on camera. Oh, Mum, thank you for the treat for me. I'll deal with that in a moment, okay? Okay, so we're going to put some citrine alchemy. Just around some of the edges. And then I think we're getting there. The difference between citrine and white is very minimal by the looks of things. It looks like a big difference on the palette, but on the actual mini, not so much. Okay. And now I'm going to use a darker colour. I think we'll go, yeah, we'll go elf gold for this. I actually already put some on my palette earlier, but I'll just put a little bit more on. And thank you for the treat for Porthos as well. Oh, I think he's actually woke up, so I can give him the one from Torpor as well. Torpor and Mum, thank you for the treats for Porthos. He's gone out into the hallway, so I'm going to chuck them out there for him. There you go, buddy. And I'll do the treat for me now before I start on the last little bits. Oh, actually, I think I might go black metal instead of elf gold. Yeah, I think that'll look nicer. Make more sense. It is a foamy banana for me. Thank you. Oh, I needed that. That's really nice. Yeah. And we'll go black gold instead. Because black gold is a little darker, as the name suggests. Nope. Wrong bit of the miniature again. I'm actually going to put some of this along the centre as well. Yeah, that works really nice. I'm still quite new to non-metallic metals and true metallic metals. I've only painted one miniature with TMM. And if you can call what I've done on the Flower Night NMM, he's my first NMM mini. I'm going to have to put the highlight back on there because I've gone a bit over it, which is fine. And now I've put too much highlight on. This can be quite difficult. Especially if you don't have a steady hand, which I really don't. But we'll make it work. We'll make it work. There we go. Better. We're also going to use the black gold to put some scratch marks into the blade. Or some scuff marks, I should say. Oh, this is so difficult. I'm going to have to go back over pretty much all of this with the highlight colour. But that's okay. Sorry, I know your view hasn't been great so far of me painting this. There we go. See if I can blend that in. No, it is way too quick drying for that. So we're gonna cheat. I've got some really watered down black gold, and I'm just popping that over the top. Far too watered down there. Oops. Do the same this side. Absolutely bloody typical. The back of the sword looks better than the front does. Okay. I think that looks okay. Can I get it in focus and correctly lit for you? Probably not. No, that's not helpful, is it? That's better. That looks okay, right? I've still got the vines to paint, but that's it then. We're done. Scary thought. Thank you, Easy. I still don't think it looks exceptional, but for a first attempt at true metallic metals on a sword, I'll take it. We'll get the green on for the vines, and then we'll just do like a light dry brush of the light green and the yellow to give them some extra life, like we've done with the other green bits. And then it's time to oh no, too much green on my brush. Okay. There's only one bit that I knackered there. We're all good. Check I've got everything. Yep, there we go. Oh, that bit could do with a bit more green on it. Okay. Now it's time for some lighter green. If we can get any. Yep, we got a little bit. Perfect track to be finishing this to. The unofficial theme of the channel. Okay, I need my light green because the light green on my palette's dried up too much. I put this in the jukebox when I joined. I can add another song now. I mean, you can, but I'm going to be finishing up soon, so you'll just get refunded for it. As soon as he's finished, we're going to be done. Like, we're going to finish the stream up then. I mean... you can add more than one song into the queue anyway, which is part of the reason it's taken so long to get to your track. We've got a couple of folks who like to put lots of tracks in. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If there was, I'd have a one track at a time rule, you know? So with the current bot, that'd be really difficult to enforce. Ah, fair enough, Hans. A little bit too much yellow there. See if I can fix that. The yellow, because it's old, is a little clumpy. So sometimes it clumps up in the bristles. Yeah. There we go. Just put a little bit more light green in some places. The yellow is supposed to be like a spot colour, not a everywhere colour. Okay. And now's the time, everyone. There's our boy. With a bit of yellow there that I need to get rid of first.
Hello there.
Hello, Jealous. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. We are not far from finishing the stream, unfortunately. But it's lovely to have you here. Okay. Much tidier. I am doing very good, thank you very much. I'm about to finish a miniature that I have owned for almost as long as I've been painting miniatures and have up until recently been too frightened to paint. For fear I might spoil him. And the fact that I've gotten to this point where not only have I nearly finished painting him, but I'm actually quite happy with how he's turned out. It's a very good feeling. Hmm. A little too much of the pale colour up there. Let's get rid of that. It's better. Much better. It is the Flower Knight. It's a Kingdom Death miniature. Here he is. Let's get the light in a better position so you can see him clearer. There we go. Turn it up a little bit. This is a Flower Knight. I'm just finishing up his sword, which is the last piece. Hey Duke, we're just about to finish him. You've arrived just in time for me to attach his sword. I hope you're doing well. Okay. The little stump. You like the little stump? Thank you. So before I actually attach the sword, I'm just going to show this off because I am really proud of it. So the tree stump and the mushrooms were separate pieces. The mushrooms were 3D printed for me by the absolutely wonderful Mod Hail. Thank you so much for those again, along with a whole host of other mushrooms that are for a different project. And I got the tree stump, which had a face on it originally, and I scraped the face off. And then I attached the mushrooms here to cover where the face was. And I attached these mushrooms and these ones at the bottom here. And each set of mushrooms is painted to resemble real world mushrooms that you find in the forest. Because I'm that kind of nerd. Okay. Here goes nothing. He should be facing the camera for this, shouldn't he? Okay, I think we've got my music on now because I recognise this track. I don't think anyone else would have put it in the jukebox. That's good. Seeing as we're so close to ending. So I'm just putting some super glue on his hand. Close the super glue up. And here goes nothing. Flower Knight, Sir Flower Knight, arise. Thank you, Hans. There he is, everybody. The Flower Knight. A decade in the making. And I finished him because of you folks. And you know what? I'm really happy with him.
Excellent!
Thank you, Duke. I really appreciate that. Especially from a fellow armor appreciator, shall we say. Thank you, Mum. Now, there is one last thing I need to do with him before he's officially complete. So bear with me a second, folks. Please enjoy looking at the Flower Knight and the very nice chill music whilst I quickly go and grab something. Okay. I have the thing. He needs to come off of this now. Because this isn't where he's going to live. There we go. He really is, Duke. He's my favourite of all of them. He has his very own bell jar. I'm really quite happy with him. He's a beautiful mini, and I feel like I've done a good job. I've done him justice. And that was all I ever wanted. So, with him all done, do some little turnarounds. I will post pictures on Instagram, as I always do. They will go up on the Discord. But you were here when it happened. You were here when he was completed. And I can't thank you enough, everybody. We're going to go to the talking screen for a little bit. Oh, I always forget about that. Let's just mute the clip rotator. There we go. When I first started streaming, I did not have the confidence to paint this miniature. He sat in a box, and I looked at him longingly, forlornly, and said to myself, one day, I'll be a good enough painter to paint that miniature. But thanks to you folks, instead of saying, one day I'll be good enough, I started saying, if I keep thinking like that, I'll never be good enough. One day I'll have the paints I want to use to paint this guy. And then I decided to try. And I said to myself, I don't know how to do this, but that's okay. I can't replace this miniature, and that's fine. The fact that I will have tried and I will learn something from this experience is all that really matters. Oh, I did not, Torpor. I didn't notice it. I'm so sorry. I'll do it now. It is a fizzy bottle of a flavour indeterminate. Thank you. Thanks to this wonderful community, I have been able to achieve something that I never thought I'd be able to do. I did, Mum. It was a foamy banana. So thank you, everyone. Not just for being here and saying nice things about my minis when I couldn't, but for signal boosting, for just generally supporting my endeavours, and for coming back all the time. For putting music in the jukebox, be it concerning hobbits or Cannibal Corpse. Thank you, everyone, for providing a space where other people feel happy to relax and paint along with the stream, and where I felt, finally, after a very long time of feeling inadequate, that it was okay to just be average at something as long as you were having fun. And you know what? Honestly, I think he's kind of better than average. I'm really proud of him. And you folks are a big part of why I feel that way. You have given me the power to feel good about my own work. Thank you. I only hope that I can do the same for you. Now, I am going to send us off to somebody and go and have some proper food. Because, oh, thank you, Cypher. That's very kind of you. I'm very hungry. I haven't eaten much today. It's been a busy one. So I'm going to go and get some food. We do have a giveaway active on the stream. Godzilla says consume, and I will, I promise, because I am desperate for some actual food. if anybody wants to get in on the
Goodbye.
chance to win a copy of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, now is your last chance. Exclamation mark ticket will net you a ticket. You can purchase for 10 tickets, exclamation mark ticket, space, and then the number of tickets you want to purchase. And I will give you a little bit of time, just in case you've only just heard about this and Chibitan hasn't been doing their job properly. So you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And a little bit for the lag. Ooh, Rocket getting in there at the last second. The giveaway is closed. We have 5 entrants, 50 tickets purchased. Looks like you're all in it to win it. Best of luck, everyone. Our winner is Rockethead. Congratulations. 20% chance to win, and you won it. Oh no, too late. Congratulations, Rocket. I will send you the code a little bit later after I've had some food, okay? Now, let's find someone to send you off to. Oh, well, I know exactly where we're going. So, some of you will already know my avatar was done by an absolutely fantastic artist by the name of Carvistico. Currently streaming a little bit of the Outer Wilds. So we're going to go over and visit Carve. If that worked, it did. Awesome. I know there's been issues with raids not pulling people through, so if you want to join in and you don't get pulled through, there's the link to Carve's Twitch channel, so you can click that instead. Now, I will be back on Friday playing Resident Evil 4 because I can't fucking wait. I am so excited. I'm so sorry. I know it's supposed to be a community night, but I want to play Resident Evil 4. I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be fun to share it with you all. Yeah. So hopefully I'll see you all then. But, as always, till I do see you next, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Wash your fucking hands and your paintbrushes. And have a great rest of your week, everyone, however you're spending it. And Mum, I will see you at the weekend, and I cannot wait. Right. Go say hi to Carl for me. Bye, everybody.